We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Have you ever found yourself trapped in the past, replaying old memories, reliving pain that should have been left behind? Instead of being in the present, it's as if your mind is stuck somewhere it doesn't belong, anchored to a time that no longer exists. This is one of the most common struggles of the human experience, living in the past. Yet, as the Stoics understood so well, the past is something we can never change. We can only learn from it. Today, we'll dive deep into Stoic philosophy to understand why living in the past hinders personal growth, how we can move beyond it, and more importantly, how we can anchor ourselves in the present moment, where life truly happens. Section 1. The Trap of the Past. The Stoics remind us that the past, like the future, is beyond our control. But why do we cling to it? Why do we keep revisiting moments of failure, loss, or regret? One reason is that the mind tries to make sense of unresolved pain. Perhaps you made a mistake, and now your mind wants to solve a puzzle that's no longer relevant. Or maybe you experienced a deep loss, and revisiting that memory feels like a way of staying connected to what you lost. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, observed this dilemma. He said, "Everywhere means nowhere. When a person spends all his time in foreign travel, he has many acquaintances, but no friends." Now, Seneca wasn't talking about literal travel here. He pointed out that if we spend too much time mentally wandering through the past, we lose touch with the present moment, the only time where life truly unfolds, becomes a fleeting acquaintance, rather than the steady friend we should cherish. Living in the past is a form of self-imprisonment. The more we replay old scenarios, the more we waste time that could be spent improving ourselves in the here and now. A split screen. On one side, a person is sitting alone, staring at an old photo, lost in thought. On the other side, the same person is seen engaging with life, smiling, and interacting with others. Section 2. The Stoic Approach to Time. The Stoics believed time was one of the most precious resources we have, and it's constantly slipping away. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, reminds us in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't meant to be a morbid thought. It's a call to be fully present. By constantly worrying about the past or future, we waste the moment we have now, the moment in which we live. Consider this. We often cling to the past because we believe it defines who we are today. We believe that our mistakes, our failures, or even our triumphs have somehow set in stone the course of our lives. But this is a fallacy. The Stoics taught that we are not defined by our past, but by how we respond to the present. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, said it clearly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. What he's telling us is that we always have the power to choose our response, to shape our actions in this very moment. Section 3. Practical Stoic exercises to break free from the past. Now that we understand why living in the past is a trap, the question becomes, how do we break free from it? The Stoics were practical philosophers, and their teachings gave us clear steps to let go of the past and focus on the present. 1. Negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. One technique is negative visualization or premeditatio malorum. This exercise involves imagining potential future hardships, not to cause anxiety, but to remind ourselves that even the worst scenarios can be faced and overcome. But it also works in reverse. When you find yourself obsessing over past events, remind yourself that those events have already happened and are out of your control. The suffering you experienced in the past is a distant shadow, no longer real unless you allow it to be. Let's say you regret a failed business venture or a broken relationship. Instead of dwelling on what could have been, remind yourself that your current reality is all that exists. The past cannot hurt you unless you choose to carry it with you. 2. The dichotomy of control. Another crucial Stoic exercise is understanding the dichotomy of control. This principle, taught by Epictetus, asks you to distinguish between what is within your control and what is not. The past falls into the latter category. It's not something we can change, no matter how much we replay it. Ask yourself, can I change what happened? The answer is always no, but you can change your response to those memories. You can choose to release their hold on you. Imagine a person constantly replaying a past argument. They can't change the words said or the actions taken, but they can choose to apologize, to forgive, or to let go simply. 3. The view from above. One more powerful Stoic exercise is called the view from above. This involves mentally zooming out, seeing your life from a broader cosmic perspective. The things that seem significant to you now, especially those rooted in the past, will appear smaller and less overwhelming when you view them from the vastness of the universe. Think about an embarrassing moment or failure that haunts you. Now, visualize yourself as a tiny dot in the universe, where your past mistakes are like grains of sand on an endless shore. In the grand scheme of things, these events don't define you. They are mere moments, quickly washed away by the tides of time. The Stoics didn't teach us to ignore the past, but to learn from it and move on. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The present moment is all we have." By practicing these Stoic techniques, negative visualization, the dichotomy of control, and the view from above, you can stop living in the past and start living fully in the present. Remember, each moment is a fresh opportunity to choose how you respond to life. Let go of what you cannot change. Focus on what you can, your attitude, your actions, and how you embrace the only thing that truly exists: this moment.